It's because the police report shows that the apartment locks were changed the very next morning. They were changed. Okay, by the leasing office.
I have a body cam where Investigator Romero, the one that weaponized and abused the children before they walked him into the forensic interview, is on a body cam. He says, I'm going to have Investigator Drum give you access into the apartment. Which apartment? Mustafa and Dorsey's apartment.
And they're not on the lease.
They're not on the lease. And then they go in.
Allegedly, according to you, Chief Newsham, this is a double homicide crime scene. How could you let pedophiles, criminals into Dorothy's apartment? The alleged crime scene, according to your prosecutor.
Unfortunately for Commonwealth Amy Ashworth,
Unbelievable.
we have access and we got our hand on the Google Nest videos inside Mustafa and Dorsey's apartment that shows the children are loved by Mustafa. His girlfriend, Mustafa, loves his girlfriend.
They love him.
It's a beautiful relationship.
It's a beautiful relationship.
Mustafa is a father figure in these children's life.
I mean, look.
You take those children and you weaponize them against Mustafa.
I'll tell you this.
And you have individuals to delete those cameras thinking that you deleted everything.
They thought they deleted that footage.
Amy Ashworth is terrified today.
I mean, are you telling me that your officer, you're the best? I mean, you're next to Quantico, okay? You're the best at digital forensics. One of the top police departments in the country. And your digital forensics couldn't find out that there's a Google Nest in the apartment? We found that out.
What do you mean? They have access. They have Mustafa's cell phone. The Google Nest videos are on Mustafa's cell phone that the police have access to. Now tell me why they haven't uploaded those Google Nest videos into the server.
That's what I was going to say.
Why are they not into evidence?
The moment the Google Nest videos hit the record of this court system, this entire case is going to be blown to dust. Okay? Not only is it going to be blown to dust, but you're going to have prosecutors who are going to be facing criminal charges for what they've done in this case.
Especially when their communication is going to show that they're communicating with those officers every step of the line who coach and abuse children against Mustafa.
Again.
Why do you think Sarah Sammy is so terrified?
Again, once again, this goes back to the prosecutor's communication. And I believe the prosecutor's communication is going to show that they were aware of Google Nest videos. They were aware of the dash cam with audio, and they hid it.
If you have nothing to hide.
They hid that information.
Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, if you have nothing to hide, then it should be no problem releasing your communication with the police and the individuals that you're bringing into this case, alleging they're witnesses. You should have
the attorney.
You should have... To the attorney. To Brad Haywood. You should have no problem.
We're not saying give it to us. We're saying keep it secret.
Absolutely.
Give it to the attorney. He's entitled to it.
By the way,
by law.
Whether she likes it or not, she's going to have to give up her communications.
Of course.
Now, I want to watch this body cam. Do me a favor. Go over to Exhibit. This is a body cam of Investigator Davis, who's on speed dial with the 16-year-old. The 16-year-old Kylie Clapp, who we just heard that the ex-boyfriend Glenn Ford drugs and sleeps. Now, Investigator Davis is not with the forensic unit, but Sarah Sammy likes to tell the judge, Your Honor, the children were only talked to in the forensic interview. Wait a minute. I've got a body cam where he's on speed dial with that 16-year-old. Let's watch a body cam where the same investigator is telling that ex-boyfriend who sleeps and drugs Kylie, we need you, Glenn Ford. We need to get Mustafa off the street. We need to get our ducks in a row.
I'll make a quick note. When the prosecutor said
Investigator Davis is the same officer that says, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money.
Yeah,
You're pumping money into this case.
Not only that, but in September, there's a report that says the police and the prosecutors reached out to the minor and had a private meeting. Now,
a minor. Where's the body cam when you where the prosecutor dealt with that minor?
Where's the report? Where's the body cam? You just told the judge that the children were only talked to by forensic psychologists that are trained to deal with children. And I guarantee you, the report I read doesn't say anything about a forensic psychologist being present. It says prosecutor and police met with the minor and had a private meeting. Where are the results of that meeting, and why is the lawyer in the dark? What kind of conversations were you having with this minor? off the record. And how could you lie to Judge Weimer? How could you lie to him and tell him that the children were only talked to by the psychologist when you yourself had a meeting with the minor? You yourself had a meeting with that minor. You lied to the judge. I don't think Judge Weimer is going to be happy with you.
I don't think Judge Weimer appreciates being lied to.
I don't think he does.
All right, let's watch the body cam. This is Investigator Davis responding to a pawn slip after Glenn Ford and Kylie Clapp, the 16-year-old that's being drugged, and Glenn Ford is sleeping with her, went and cleaned out the apartment, and specifically the cameras inside the apartment, while the police on the other end are weaponizing the children, a 9, a 10, a 14.
Let's go.
Around you, everything at one point has been on a truck.
This is Rob Davis body cam, right?
Rob Davis. Yeah.
By the way, I just want to say while that plays, I wonder what brought the pawn slip into this whole thing. Were the items reported stolen? Was there a police report for the police to get a pawn slip from Glenn Ford? I mean, they're looking for Glenn Ford.
Sarah Sammy tells Judge Weimer that I gave Brad Haywood everything, but yet he's left in the dark with every piece of information surrounding the pawn slip.
Yeah, what brought the pawn slip into the whole situation? Why was, by the way, and we'll find out later that Davis never questions Glenn Ford when he talks to him about the pawn slip. Why are you not questioning a criminal about selling the property of a woman that was just deceased? Why are you not questioning this man, the neighbor, selling her property?
I mean, listen to what Davis told Glenn Ford. We need you. We need to get our ducks in a row. We need to get Mostafa off the street. Why would he question him about robbing the whole entire apartment, including the cameras inside? That's gonna disqualify him and is gonna incriminate Glenn Ford. They will no longer be able to use him in this case.
And I wonder if the prosecutor told the police not to probe into the pawn slip issue, not to probe into why this man is selling off this woman's property. I wonder if the prosecutor instructed the police to stay back. Again,
why do you think Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is so terrified that her communication is going to be released to the attorney?
Again, that communication is key. It's key.
Don't know. Never heard of him.
Go back a little bit.
Did you hear what you just said? Glenn Ford.
Let's listen.
Glenn Ford. Don't know. Never heard of him.
He doesn't live here?
Never lived here.
Okay. 2969 Birch Creek, right?
2969 Birch Creek. I've been living here 5 or 6 years.
That's weird.
That's
All right,
weird.
Let me go back and do my digging and see. I got this off of a pawn slip.
A pawn slip?
Yeah.
What's a pawn slip?
When you pawn something?
Yeah, when you go to the pawn shop and you pawn something, they take your license and they write down an address.
So are you saying that this dude would have had to provide a driver's license with this address on it?
I would think so, but
Something like that.
Let me go back and double check. Maybe I wrote this down wrong. Before I start making accusations against people that
I mean, it's almost like Davis right there in that scene is defending Glenn Ford. He's saying, wouldn't he have to provide some kind of ID with the address? Would that mean that Glenn Ford is potentially going around with fake IDs?
Well, I have an audio
Possibly.
where Glenn Ford admitted to a private investigator. Not only does he sleep and drug that 16-year-old, not only does he washes and forces these a 9 and a 10-year-old to shower, he went on and he says he forged things for a living.
Oh, wow.
Now, I have that audio, and then I have him. He got online on a live on TikTok, and he said, Dorothy's vehicle, the minivan, I forged the title. I sold that vehicle.
After she died?
After she died. So,
are you kidding me?
I have the audio. I'm going to be releasing.
He sold her vehicle.
He sold her vehicle. He forged the title, and he sold the vehicle. Okay? So I have that audio. I have... Now, where is Prosecutor Sarah Sammy from this conversation. I mean, she's sitting there telling Judge Weimer that she never looked into these individuals that she was bringing into the Mustafa al-Jazari case.
He sold her vehicle.
He sold her vehicle.
Her vehicle.
She tells Judge Weimer she never looked into these people. I wonder why you want to tell Judge Weimer. Let's release your communication with Davis, with these individuals,
With Glenn Ford.
with Glenn Ford, with Kylie. And by the way, Kylie says I have her on a recorded line. She says Glenn Ford didn't take anything from the apartment. Glenn Ford didn't go in. I went in.
So she stole the stuff for him and he pawned it off.
What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? These are the individuals that are used in this case. And every body cam that you open that are sealed by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth that today I have and I'm releasing on the internet. Glenn Ford says, I don't know Mostafa. Mostafa doesn't know me. Kylie says, I was never there. I didn't see anything. And they go on and create a story. Lie about Mostafa. And I promise you, when you release the communication between the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, the reason she's terrified from her communication being released is because she's communicating with Glenn Ford. She's communicating with Kylie. She's communicating with these officers that are every step of the way falsifying this case. And she's instructing them on what to upload to the server so she can build a case on cherry-picking evidence.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I want to go to the conversation that you had with Chief of Police Peter Newsham, where he told you I'm more than comfortable charging Mostafa with murder based on the evidence that we have. Well, based on which evidence that you have? The evidence that they cherry-picked between Prosecutor Sarah Sammy and those investigators that falsified this case?
I mean, I find it interesting that he says he's okay with Mostafa being charged with murder when his internal affairs is specifically telling me we are not the ones why your brother is in jail. After they found out Robert Drum falsified Mostafa's statements, after they found out Robert Drum falsified the warrant, they're literally telling me over the phone, and I have the call recorded.